You are sick and tired of being sick and tired. You need to lose weight, get fit, and take back control of your life. You're so busy. Work, kids, school, and other life commitments. Where do you even have the time or the know-how? That is the problem. And this show will give you the answers. Here is Bryce Henson and Jake Stewart, your host of the Fit Life Orange County, a show dedicated to busy men and women focused on taking back control of their fitness and their life, with help from the ideas, programs, and guidance from local experts here in Orange County.
Coach Austin, my friend, welcome to the Fit Life Orange County podcast. Super excited to have you, my friend.
Coach Bryce, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Totally. Well, we got a lot to cover. Man, you joined our boot camp in terms of fitness coaching, actually as a client first and then as a coach. And you've just been so awesome. Your energy, your vibes, your just ability to coach. I know I sent you a text message last week, but Coach Tatiana was on the mats just to me like, holy smokes, Austin is just bringing the thunder, man. So very, very excited and grateful for you. But really to kick us off, my first question for you is, before, Austin, the coach, what's been your fitness story in life? Were you the fit kid? Were you the fat kid? Kind of give us some insights.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up as the oldest kid in a family of three, had a younger brother and a dad who played sports growing up. So we were a sports family. My brother and I, we played everything from, AYSO soccer to Little League baseball, Pop Warner football here in Orange County, you name it. And so a lot of fitness in my life from an early age and a lot of competitiveness. And I remember vividly, my dad bought me a pair of 15-pound dumbbells for my birthday when I was 12 years old, leading up to our Pop Warner football season that year. And he gave me a workout, some bicep curls, push-ups, and like tricep extensions, lateral raises. And I had to do those exercises every day that summer before I was allowed to do anything else, to hang out with friends or play video games or anything. So he taught me to prioritize fitness. And as I got older, just really fell in love with it. I began powerlifting to prepare for high school football, and then later continued on when I got into collegiate rugby, and then wrapped up my sporting career with professional rugby.
Holy smokes, that's definitely an interesting story. And granted, we're friends, so I knew that. What would you say from a rugby perspective, like your top three or top couple things that you just really loved about the sport? And I just asked because especially here in the States, that's not overly common. So we'd just love to hear a little bit of insight there.
Yeah, I would say the two biggest things that I loved the most about rugby as opposed to some other sports is there's no time to rest. You've got a job to do, and if there's a mistake that's made, you have to move on to the next job. So rugby is I like to describe it as a combination between, soccer and football. Soccer in the sense that there's a running clock, and, once the first whistle blows, there's no stoppage in play. You're going, and there's no time to talk to your coach. There's no time for, in-game game planning. So you have to be in sync with your teammates. And if you make a mistake, there's no time to reflect on it. You don't get to go back to the huddle and call a new play. You have to, get your butt back up and get right back into the game and make up for that mistake. So that's one thing that I loved about it. And then the second thing is just the camaraderie. I mean, it is a grueling sport, 2 40-minute long halves, just similar to how soccer is. And so you're really leaning on the person next to you to get you through every single minute and push through the tough times. So those were two things that I've really, really loved about the sport.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So basically, to put a bow on, I mean, you definitely had an athletic kind of fit lifestyle growing up, thanks to your family or your dad and your siblings. So now kind of, jumping in more of the actual professional coaching, two-part question. How did you hear about Fit Body, and really what made you interested in being a coach?
Yeah, so my fiance actually introduced me to Fit Body Boot Camp right at the start of COVID. So she started going to the Mission Viejo location, I want to say about a year before March of 2020. So I was living and working down in San Diego after finishing up my rugby career, and I was not in a great place physically. I was eating pad thai and Dairy Queen every single day, pounding brews at night. I got up to 200 pounds, which at my fittest, I struggled to break 185. So that was really something for me. So COVID starts, I moved back up to Orange County to live with my fiance, and she had been going to boot camp for a little over a year, like I'd mentioned, and I knew I needed to make a change in my lifestyle. And boot camp was the only place that I could work out. And I remember walking in my first day and being the only guy in the room and thinking, wow, I'm in the wrong place. how hard could this be? But that first 30-minute session kicked my butt, Bryce. I walked away thinking, like, this is the type of workout I've been missing out on. Powerlifting could never train me for the type of functional fitness that we do at boot camp, and I fell in love with it. So then, second part of your question, how I thought about, beginning to coach professionally. Truthfully, at first, I just wanted to help a friend. So Coach Jake and I have known each other since high school, another coach at the Mission Viejo location. And when I joined, it was just him and Coach John. And they were burnt out. They were giving everything they had to us as clients. So one day I just asked if they needed help, and the rest is history. But I always thought it'd be fun to be on the mic and have the spotlight on my face and get to help inspire fitness to everybody else, just kind of like how I've been around fitness my entire life.
Love it, man. Well, certainly you have, and I appreciate that. Certainly getting through COVID was wild, and we battened down the hatchets. So much gratitude to Jake, John, all of our team, and obviously you step it up. So it's been an awesome ride, and now we're on the other side of that, and feel very grateful for a fully stocked camp, and it's because of you and the rest of our team providing that love, care, enthusiasm, and coaching on a day-to-day basis. So appreciate that. Now, kind of transitioning, what would you say, Austin, is one of your favorite parts of coaching?
Well, it's obviously very rewarding to see someone achieve an amazing transformation, and not so much just the before and after, but watching that journey, seeing how people's mindset changes throughout the course of that journey is really, really inspiring. And, like we always say, that's our mission, inspiring fitness and changing lives. But truthfully, my absolute favorite part about coaching is the relationships that we have with our clients. We're truly a family. Everyone cares so deeply about one another. It's so inspiring. So Coach John was just out sick recently, and the day he returned, everybody was asking him how he was feeling. Was he okay? If he needed anything, how could they help? I know a former coach of ours got engaged, and the clients threw a surprise bridal shower for his fiancée. I missed a few weeks in a row earlier this year. I only work, those Monday afternoon sessions. So I missed a few weeks. It had been like almost 3 weeks since I had seen anybody. And the day I got back, some people walked in the door screaming, "Austin's back!" and, followed up by a hug. So, there's just hardly a day that you don't feel the love at boot camp. And, as a client, even if you're brand new, the Fit Body family welcomes you with open arms.
Love that, man. Love that. And, it's a credit to you as well because you get out what you receive in life. So love that. Now, on the flip side, Austin, I'm going to ask you, just asked you, some of the most, rewarding or positive things about coaching, and not necessarily negative, but what would you say what the most challenging part of coaching that maybe, most clients don't really fully realize?
Yeah, so probably one of the most challenging parts of coaching is making sure that you're bringing the energy every single time you're on the mic. So, as a professional coach, I do this part-time. I've got another full-time job that I work, and so, getting done with a full day of that, it doesn't matter what happened in my day. I have to commit myself 100% to our, even above, far and beyond that, like 150% to our clients, because that's exactly what they deserve. That's the precedent that we've set and what we, the expectation that we've set for ourselves. And that's what it takes to inspire fitness and change lives. So truthfully, yeah, just that's the most challenging part is bringing that energy every single time.
Totally. All right, now kind of change gears a little bit. I've been asking some questions about you, your background with fitness, what was the most interesting thing about coaching. Let's kind of shift gears to our clients as an example. And from your perspective, you get to work with a lot of clients on a weekly basis for your Monday afternoon coaching job. What would you say is the biggest reason clients join boot camp?
That's a great question. A lot of times they're looking to make a change in their lifestyle. They feel like a lot of the times I hear this, oh, I used to work out so much, but then COVID happened, or X happened, or Y happened, or Z happened, whatever it is, and so they just want to they want to get back into it, and that's a lot of the times. That's why they walk in the door and they want to learn a little bit about boot camp. That's why they join. They feel like maybe they've gotten off of their fitness journey if they have a fitness background. Some people have never touched a weight in their life, and they just recognize that health-wise, they need to make a change, and they just don't even know where to start. And that's one of the beauties of boot camp is instead of walking into, a traditional gym and trying to do it yourself, trying to inspire yourself to get in there, we have a coaching staff that's there to help you to get to know you, learn what motivates you, and use that fire to really inspire that change.
Love that, man. Totally. And to your point, I mean, it's a variety of reasons, but obviously best being, on the mats on a weekly basis. Now, changing gears, or like I said, on that same thought, but a different question. And I'm not asking for your favorite client, to be very clear, but certainly we have a lot of awesome transformation. So I'm asking for your favorite client transformation story per se. And sometimes it's weight loss, sometimes it's just getting off pain medication, sometimes it's just like having more energy. So from your perspective, what's been one of your favorite client transformation stories from a client that you've worked with?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is probably a pretty common one, but there's a specific reason why it resonates with me. And so Russell Crabtree, one of the clients at Mission Viejo, he had a fantastic transformation. I can go into all the details, how he hits 2 to 3 sessions every single day. He's now healthier and fitter than he ever could have imagined himself. But the reason why I love his story, and it has to do with my competitive background, with wanting to be the best, to want to, win, to want to prove others wrong. He joined boot camp because one of his friends was doing CrossFit, and Russell wanted to join. He thought it'd be interesting. He wanted to be involved in something like that, something bigger than himself. And his friend that was doing CrossFit told him that he couldn't handle it. He wouldn't be able to handle CrossFit. And that lit a fire under Russell. That brought out his competitive nature, and he wanted to prove that friend wrong. And so he joined boot camp, and that was what motivated him. And so, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, because, it's just so inspiring to see someone take that fire to make a change and better himself, become a more fit person, to live a healthier lifestyle. It's inspiring to me.
Yeah, Russell's awesome. It's so bummed for us, certainly happy for him that he just moved to Tennessee. And interesting, Austin, of course, I used to work out with Russell before he shifted gears, a couple times a week for, over a couple of years, I want to say, and seeing his physical transformation. I actually didn't know the backstory about his buddy doing CrossFit. So that's news to me and an incredible share. So appreciate that visibility.
What's up, my friend? Coach Bryce here. Now, you might know me as the co-host of this podcast and the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body. But what many people don't know is that I began my journey as a fitness transformation story. You see, circuit training and nutrition coaching absolutely changed my life after being overweight with a diet of mainly fast food in my late teens. Now, upon my fitness transformation in early 2007, yes, I gained a much better physique as I was overweight and lacked lean muscle. But way more than burning fat and building lean muscle, I increased my confidence, my energy, and my vibrancy to live life. And it's for these reasons that many people join our boot camp. In fact, with our Ultimate Transformation Program, we guarantee that you will lose at least 15 pounds in 12 weeks, or your program is free until you do. Now go ahead and visit our website at missionviejofitbody.com. Now thanks, and back to the show.
All right, next up, and I'm not looking for a specific client per se, but I'm just, from your experience, because I really love this question. I love this framework that Tony Robbins put down, being that success leaves clues. So from a clue perspective, what are the common traits, or the most common traits that you see from the most successful clients? And then the flip side, certainly people try, boot camp, and sometimes they don't, be successful. And certainly fitness is simple. It's simple. It's not easy, right? So there's, a few reasons for that. But what would you say is the most common, or the few commonalities of the most successful clients? And the flip side, what are the most common things with the clients that struggle or just can't seem to get it?
Yeah, fantastic question. I would say the most common things for the clients that find success in boot camp is, number one, consistency. Consistency in life will take you far, whether it's anything you do. Fitness specifically, very, very important part of it. There's a saying that says it takes doing something 100 times to make it a habit. And so in our life, in order to start to build healthy, good habits, you have to do that thing over 100 times before it's truly ingrained in your nature to continue to do it. So consistency is key. If you're coming to boot camp, 2 times one week and then 5 times another week, that's great that you got in 5 sessions in a row. But myself as a coach, I'd rather see someone make it in 3 times every single week consistently. Every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there for the 4:30 p.m. session. That's what I would like to see, and that's what I see the most successful clients do. And then the second thing that I would say stands out to me is when clients push their comfort zone. So that doesn't mean doing 100 burpees like in a row. And I'm not saying everybody should be able to do that. You know, Bryce, you and I would struggle to do 100 burpees in a row. I mean, it's not very realistic.
Totally.
You know, with pushing the comfort zone, what I mean is like finding where you're comfortable. So after you're done doing an exercise, do you look back and you think, hey, I could have gotten one more rep, or I could have done, I could have gone a little bit faster on my high knees. And if you have that thought where you think you could have, then you're not necessarily pushing the comfort zone. So the clients that push that comfort zone consistently and reflect on the effort that they're putting in, those are the clients that over the long run end up having the most success. So I know that was a little long-winded on the successful side. For the common issues or where I see some clients struggle is they focus too much on the number on the scale. Because it's not necessarily about losing weight. It's about gaining health, living a fitter and healthier lifestyle. And a lot of times when you start working out, you don't see that number on the scale move. But that doesn't mean that you're not, burning fat, losing fat. You could be putting on muscle. So a lot of times I see people who are too focused on that scale. They walk in, they jump on the scale, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't lose any weight over the last 3 days. I can't believe it. It's like, well, nothing happens overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. You're going to see physical changes to your body that are more important than that number on the scale.
Yeah, amen to that. On both commonalities for success and I guess struggles and challenges. Back to the consistency point, I was actually on another podcast that I have for our Fit Body brand. I was interviewing a gentleman who was a strength and conditioning coach for multiple NHL organizations or franchises, and what one of his coaches told him one time, like, stuck with him forever. He said, "Talent will get you noticed, but consistency will get you paid." And that's, to your point, in all walks of life, whether that's be business, whether it be health or fitness. So I couldn't agree more, and I just really wanted to kind of really reinforce that because it's incredibly strong advice. All right, my friend. My last question before we shift to the lightning round, being respectful of your time, would be not necessarily a specific commonality or a specific client in mind, but just general recommendations. So for our audience who are listening to this and they're like, oh, you know what, I need a change. Maybe I haven't worked out in 15 years. Maybe I haven't worked out before COVID. Maybe my diet's all out of whack. Whatever the case may be, they want to change. They want to get better. What would be your top 2 or 3 recommendations, whether to start or continue to really allow them to achieve their health and fitness goals?
Yeah, so I would say that the number one recommendation I would make would be to find a fit body buddy. So, for me, my fiance introduced me to Fit Body Boot Camp. But she's not necessarily my fit body buddy. She's my fiance, right? We hold each other accountable by getting up and driving there in the morning. But find someone at boot camp who you really gel with, have the same type of vibes, have the same types of goals you get along with. And that person should be your accountability buddy at boot camp. That's the person that you come to, the 4:30 session every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with. That's the person that you look forward to, and you get to know them. So have that fit body buddy, because it's so much easier to be consistent when you have a friend to help you do it. The other thing I would say is really get to know your coaches, because everybody's motivated by something different. And we as coaches want to know how to motivate you and help you push that comfort zone and put into perspective why you're there. And so we do our best to get to know you, but what I would ask everybody to do is to really be open and honest and vulnerable with us coaches, so we can understand exactly how you're motivated. And then I would say the last one is have fun. I'm a firm believer that life shouldn't be taken too seriously. I mean, Bryce, you, me, Coach Jake, and Coach John, it's a giggle fest when we're all in the same room together. But the only way to remain consistent in anything you do is to have fun and enjoy it while you do it. And it's gonna suck when you're doing 40 seconds of burpees, but joke around with the people you're with, have fun, make light of a challenging thing, and that'll make it so much easier to do it.
Oh man, amen, sage advice. And actually, Austin, when I acknowledge you, I kind of put some thoughts into it. And one, I love the fact that like you just get stuff done. You're very professional, extremely well spoken. You're just a really put together, really hard driven guy, competitive guy, and really serious on many ways. But on the flip side, you have this like fun, really a presence about you that I think we connect with, both with other coaches in the team. And I think that just is an incredible sage advice that you got to put in the work, but you got to have fun in the process. So, all right, my friend. Well, this has been awesome. I still have a few minutes left with you, being respectful of your time. So I'm going to shoot with the lightning round, and that way we can still extract some knowledge from you if that works for you.
Yep, absolutely. Let's hit it.
All right, cool. So first question, the lightning round. An interesting one at this, but Coach Austin, what was the biggest benefit, or at least a huge benefit of coaching that you actually didn't realize before you began coaching?
The biggest benefit is that I have a lot of work to do myself. I already knew this going into it, but nobody's a perfect person. We can always get better, but watching clients achieve their goals helps inspire me to achieve mine. So that's the huge value bomb that I've taken from coaching.
Okay, cool. Now on the flip side, like focusing more on the client perspective, what would be one or two things, actually just one big thing that someone trying boot camp should know but probably doesn't? And the reason I say this is because I would say about 5% of our new clients coming in, they're like, oh, only 30 minutes, kind of like you. You're like, you're coming with my fiance, oh, I got this, right? On the flip side, like 95% are like scared, they're nervous, they're like, oh my God, you only have fitness models at your gym, which couldn't be farther from the truth. So from your perspective, what would be one really big value point that a new boot camper should know before trying, but probably doesn't?
Yeah, I would say that boot camp is for everybody. I mean, whether you're a former professional athlete or you've never touched a weight in your life, the workouts are designed specifically in a way where anybody can do it. We can adjust exercises to accommodate for injuries. As long as you push your comfort zone, you're going to achieve that result that you're looking for.
Awesome. Love that. All right, next up, this is great. This is probably one of my favorite sections, especially for, a really fit guy like yourself who's a coach. And we're going to talk about meals here for a second. So one, I want to ask probably for, your favorite healthy meal or food. And on the flip side, I want you to shoot us straight. What's your favorite cheat meal as well?
All right, my favorite healthy meal is something that my fiance and I have started to do. We do a ground turkey stuffed bell pepper. So take ground turkey, put some serrano peppers in there if you like the spice, put a little bit of brown rice, you stuff a bell pepper with it, add a little bit of non-dairy cheese on top, put that in the pressure cooker, fire it up for a few minutes, and it's delicious. Love it. Now, favorite cheat meal is chocolate ice cream. Absolute favorite meal in the world, and we don't have it in our freezer because I could put down a pint of Ben & Jerry's chocolate ice cream in like 2 or 3 minutes. It's crazy.
Well, very good on you for not keeping it in the house, because if it's in the house, it's gone. Mm-hmm. All right, next up, more on the movement side, but what would you say from an exercise perspective? What is one of your favorite exercises? And the flip side, what's one of your least favorite exercises you don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole?
Well, I love dumbbell chest press down on the floor. I love grabbing a heavy pair of dumbbells and just like the feeling of getting heavy weights off the floor and pressing your chest together. Like that's my absolute favorite feeling in the world, when you stand up and your chest, you feel like you're like a silverback gorilla. Your chest is like pumped, The exercise I hate the most is thrusters. Having to do a full squat with dumbbells or a kettlebell on your shoulders, and I feel like a newborn baby deer trying to get back up, athletically and press them overhead. So that's definitely the one that I try and stay away from.
Oh, that word picture of a newborn baby deer, literally I'm going to be burned in my brain next time I do a thruster. So thanks, Coach Austin.
You're welcome.
All right. This is a local podcast here in Orange County. So my last two, lightning round questions, or two of my last ones, I should say, are just kind of favorite spots here in Orange County. And certainly this is a health show. But from a restaurant perspective, what's one of your favorite restaurants here in Orange County?
My My absolute favorite would be Nick's Pizza in Costa Mesa. It's right off of Beach Boulevard, and it's fantastic. They've been around for like 40 years. Used to be a hole-in-the-wall spot. Now it's a freestanding restaurant. The owner, Nick, unfortunately passed away just a couple years back, but his wife and son are still running the place. Really authentic Italian food. Some of the best pizza I've ever had.
Alrighty, there you go. Now, in terms of just kind of hanging out, relaxing, a good spot to chill with some buddies at, or just maybe with your fiance, maybe, night in the town, what would be one of your favorite places either to visit or relax here in Orange County?
Favorite place by far is just heading to the beach, specifically Laguna Beach, 1,000 steps. It takes some work to get down those steps, and I've counted it's not quite 1,000, but it's pretty close. But walking down to the beach there and hanging out in that cove, there's just something about it that when I need some time to relax and flush the worries, that's the place that I like to go.
Yeah, man. Awesome. I feel we're so blessed to live in this beautiful spot. So thank you for sharing. Now, my last question for you, Austin, is just really your parting piece to wisdom. So, our audience are interested in health, wellness, fitness. Maybe they haven't worked out in a long time. They're looking for a change. They're looking for more inspiration, and they just want to be better in life. So from that framework, what would be your parting piece of wisdom to really help them on their fitness and health journey?
Yeah, my answer is pretty short and sweet on this one. And it's just that the most important step on any journey that you're taking, whether it's in, fitness or in business, choosing a new career, moving on from something, moving on to a new journey, the most important step is just taking that first step. And some journeys are longer than others, some are more difficult than others, but taking that first step is what gets you going. So that's the thing that matters most.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, tons of value, my friend. I really appreciate you taking the time today to really impart your knowledge, your experience, and your wisdom to our audience. And before we go, man, I just want to take a second to acknowledge you. Super grateful for you as a person, for our friendship, the way you show up. Obviously, you jumping in, during COVID, really helping the team. But way more than that, just the fact of you're intense, you get stuff done, you're very articulate, you care. And also in the same token, which I commented earlier, you're just a fun guy to hang around. It's all giggles and laughs, and it just makes the experience so much better. So I just want to take a second to acknowledge you and thank you for that.
Well, thanks, Bryce. Means a ton, man.
You got it. Well, my friends, I know you got a ton of value today. Assuming you did, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and write us an awesome review on iTunes. Oh, and by the way, throw one of your biggest takeaways from this episode in the comments. That will help us produce this content for you for free. So that's all for today. Coach Austin, thanks again, my friend, and we'll see you in the next episode.